It's October 14th, 2020, and this is What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi. Welcome back to the podcast. The Lakers are champions. The Yankees are out of the playoffs. Eddie Vedder's dead. God. And we can't win a bet. We came so fucking close this weekend to winning $1,800 for Lucas Hurl. We were a decent drive by Russell Wilson and a quarter of an inch by a kicker for the fucking Chargers away from 18 hundo this weekend. But it's not meant to be, not this week. But we're going to nail one of these fuckers real soon. How are you guys doing? Good? Lucas, Brenton, Emma, all joining me.
Chilling.
Not good.
Not good. Why? Let me guess. Because Tuesday night football didn't go your way. The first game.
No. Well,
Tuesday night?
it was second game actually, second Tuesday night game. If you recall the Blizzard game from a few years ago that collapsed the roof and then had to be played elsewhere.
Oh, in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a second Tuesday primetime game. But no, this is a health issue. I had apparently an allergic reaction to something. So I went to the doctor. I got red spots all over my tummy. And they don't itch or anything. They don't hurt. But I got red spots all over me, and I had to get a shot in my ass, and I am now on steroids this entire week. So if I seem a little more aggressive, I'm on steroids, the dog's on steroids, and Cassie has to deal with us.
They're all roided out over there.
We are hungry. We are aggressive. But the Titans played a hell of a game. The Bills did not.
Did you throw anything at the television, at your 90-foot television yesterday? And just, not saying it's a normal Brenton reaction, but you are all roided up. You're like fucking Jose Canseco coming out of the dugout.
I shut when they lose, which, I'm used to them losing. When they lose, I shut down and I become a prick to be around. So I just have really bad, negative, quiet energy. But
how are you feeling? Are you tired?
No, I feel good. I feel completely normal. I don't know what I ate. I didn't eat anything out of the normal. I didn't get into anything, so couldn't tell you. Maybe it's COVID.
Did you get a new laundry detergent or something?
No, nothing changed.
No new lotions or soaps?
Nope.
Weird.
Yeah. What about did Cassie get it too?
No.
Really?
Brenton, were you rolling around in the trash again?
No.
Did you ever have chicken pox? Did they rule that out?
I had chicken pox when I was little, and I had shingles a couple of years ago.
Oh, I remember when you had shingles.
Yeah, so
leprosy.
It's not that. It might be. It could be leprosy. It could be leprosy.
It's probably that.
Wow, you are truly, literally falling apart. How do you?
Felt stronger.
Are the dots gone now? Or did you?
No, they're still there. Do you want to see them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why not?
I don't know if you could see.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Not
really. Like hives.
Kind of. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Nice six-pack.
That's really what he wanted to show off.
I know. Yeah. You wanted to show off your COVID not 15?
Today's legs and back, you guys. Legs and back today.
Today's legs and back. God, dude. Steroids does a body good, huh? What are you listening to when you're lifting weights now?
We do P90X, so we're listening to Tony Horton.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's okay.
I just did a whole hike up the mountain because we voted last night. Tracy and I voted. We did our ballots, filled them out, like our brackets. And then the drop box is at the park up the hill. So I walked up there today. Filled them out.
It's just our
my
future,
2020
Steve.
bracket, my America bracket.
What are your picks?
My America 2020 bracket for my picks.
My president got knocked out in the first round.
I do it like that. If all the votes don't go the way I voted, I get pretty pissed off. I'm like, fuck, how did I get that wrong? I'm upset about not getting. It is for me. That's how I look at this whole thing. I'm like, if I don't agree, if everyone in the world doesn't agree with how I feel about things, then this is not a good world to be. That's literally, I look at it like a bracket. Like I got to fill it out and get it right. Especially with these measures. And then, I walked up the mountain to get to I dropped it off. I almost dropped it off in the FedEx box, which would have been a disaster. First of all, I was air drumming because I was listening to Van Halen on the way up. Rest in peace. I don't even know. I think he died probably like a couple hours before we did the podcast last week, but I didn't get a chance to properly eulogize. Living in Pasadena, you kind of feel even more connected because he grew up. His house was, not too far from here. I drove past it last week. There were tons of flowers outside. Just a kid that came from nothing. His parents had nothing. They came here with like truly money in their pocket. And he became the greatest, in my estimation, guitar player I ever heard. There was Slash and him growing up. That was the only two guys you knew played guitar. Clapton, of course, you knew as a classical guitar player, but those are the only two guys I listened to. And, it's incredible because the stories you hear about him, like the only reason he picked up the guitar is because he wanted a drum set. And so he had to get a bike route to pay for his own drum set. Nobody gave him a drum set. So he bought a drum set and had to pay for it. So he was out on his bike route. And while he was trying to get money to help pay off his drum set, his brother was home playing the fucking drums. So while he'd come home, he's trying to learn. His brother was already better than him. So he's like, fuck it. So he picked up his brother's guitar and started playing the guitar. It was almost an accident the way he fell into the guitar. So I'm like, obviously he's a musical genius, a savant, but just the fact that he's one of the greatest guitar players of all time, and it wasn't even the instrument he intended upon playing, is unbelievable to me. And just personally, like, one of my top memories of all time of just being out here, a friendship, is the Van Halen concert that I went to with Steve Simone and Mark Ellis. And it was when they first got back together. It was probably 2006, I think it was, 6 or 7. And they were playing at the Staples Center, and we fucking drove down there. I don't even know if I told the story to you guys before, but if I have, I'm sorry for repeating it. We drove down to the concert, started at 8, and we got there at 5 o'clock before they even opened up the gates to the parking lot. Like, the people that worked at the Staples Center weren't even there yet. So we were literally the first human being. We were just so excited for this concert. We were like, we never thought they'd get back together. We honestly thought they were going to break up before. Some of our friends, I can't even remember who it was, but they got to see, like Craig Gass got to see them. He told us at the Troubadour, they were doing warm-up shows at the Troubadour, and we couldn't get into those. So we heard how fucking lights out it was, and we were like, this is going to be the greatest ever, and we have to see them before they break up again, because it's still, it's a very volatile relationship between the rest of the band and David Lee Roth. So we got there, we started tailgating, and the fucking Sean Halpin showed up, John Huck showed up. I mean, like, you could just tell a lot of fans, like a lot of comics were showing up, and we were all tailgating, and we got so hammered by like 7:15, we ran out of food. We ordered pizza from Pizza Hut to the fucking tailgate. They literally go, I go, the Staples Center. They go, what do you mean? I go, if we're in the parking lot. They go, we don't deliver to parking lots. I'm like, do you deliver to corners? I go, what about Figueroa and whatever it was, 7th right there. I go, so have the driver call me. And he called me when he was there. I ran through the parking lot, through the tailgate, picked up the pizzas, came back. We crushed 2 pizzas, thank God, because Mark Ellis was like a fucking Pinocchio by the time he brought him in. He was so hammered he couldn't even, we had to like carry him into the fucking concert. We're holding him up. I mean, the first song rips off, it was a and me and Simone are like, fuck it. And Ellis is just like, he's like Weekend at Bernie's. We're just holding him up for a fucking. Now, the only reason we let Ellis get this hammered is because we knew he had tickets for like the next 3 nights. So I'm like, even if he blacks out at this one, he'll be back tomorrow. He'll figure it out. It was the greatest. And yeah, Van Halen to me, although I got into many debates about fucking what it was to be a Van Halen fan, you're not, it's not real music. It was like, oh, like Nick Youssef and I used to be like, oh, he's like, it's just fun music. That's all it is. It's just fun. And yeah. It was like for dudes that wanted to have fun. I never didn't have fun when I listened to Van Halen. I never was like, I feel shitty. If you put Van Halen on, you're going to feel better. It's a better fucking vibe. And it was always that. It was just fun. I never went to it for like feeling like, oh, I really want to, I want to feel sad or I want to feel, emotional. It was just fucking fun. And rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. Fucking 2020. 2020 sucks. Cancer sucks. And just another example of shit blowing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Amen, guys. The Lakers are champs, so that's that.
Yeah, congrats to the Lakers and Johnny Buss, owner of the Ice House.
Yeah, that's true. Strategic partners with ATC, the mothership. So
I'm sitting here waiting for my ring, Mr. Buss.
I don't think it's going to trickle down
any
that
day
far,
now.
Biddlecombe. Listen, Mr. Buss, if you've got a child's ring hanging around or one that was misshapen, like ill-formed, one that could fit
probably like a size 4.
Yeah, like whatever you'd buy your daughter for her quinceañera. That's the size you should buy. If you have one of those laying around, Breton could use one. I told you, fucking Court McCowan's got a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah.
Because he's boys with the Colts owner, Irsay.
But
it's like the greatest
we
thing.
could all get rings, and I will make this promise. Calm down. I'll get you one too. I'll make this promise. If I win the $1 million again, I will find and buy us all Super Bowl rings because those guys are constantly selling them, and I will waste money on that just so we can all have. I can't guarantee it's going to be a team you like or a year you like or a player that you like, but we're all going to get Super Bowl rings. After I win,
I want Carl Banks 1986 Super Bowl ring. That's the one. Can we throw it out there?
Can't promise you anything. It just depends on who needs the money at the moment.
Jeff Hostetler's. Oh, I just kicked my fucking camera. Jeff Hostetler's ring from the year that Phil Simms got hurt and he led us to the Super Bowl. Can we get that?
How dare you? They beat the Bills that year.
Yeah.
Well, there were 4 teams that did it in a row, guys. So. Let's not look.
All NFC East teams too.
Yeah.
I know by the way, the NFC East, I'm reliving glory days because there's truly nothing to be happy about right now.
But at least you're not the Jets.
The Jets are a true dumpster fire.
They are the worst run organization in football by far now, and that's saying something. And
I'd rather be Eddie Van Halen than a Jets fan. I really would. I'd rather be RIP than a fucking Jets fan. You let go of Le'Veon Bell. You paid him $27 million. I think that's pretty much we're putting the white flag up for this season. I don't know what came about as far as there was some comments after that one guy is big, not as big as the team But do you think he was acting? I mean, I don't know what happened. Was there something that happened? Did I miss something?
You talking about Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah.
So if he was still on the roster as of tomorrow, they owed him guaranteed money, and it was in the millions. So he was just so expensive, and they decided they didn't want to pay him, despite the fact they kept him on for, I think it was 590 days, and they paid him $48,000 a day for 19 months. And now they're cutting him, and they're still going to have a lot of dead salary cap space that they're wasting. But they don't have to pay him the extra few $1 million if he was still a Jet as of tomorrow. So all they're doing is saving
$27 million they paid him for. Yeah. What did they give? 4 touchdowns out of him?
Something like that.
I think so. But also for the last week, he's been liking tweets that have been shitting on Adam Gase. So, I mean, that doesn't help. And he also criticized not being a bigger part of the game plan the last week. So.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know what the game plan was last week. I didn't really watch I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know who they're throwing. I know Crowder had a touchdown, I think, right? But, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Jets' game plan is.
Joe Flacco is going to be quarterback again this week. So, I mean, they don't have a game plan. I got to deal with this.
Have you seen the potential landing spots for Le'Veon Bell? The Giants are one of the first ones that I read this morning in the New York Post.
The Giants, and I heard Arizona. Arizona's going to be a possibility too, just because Kendrick Drake has not done that well over there. So, but look, the Giants would be great. I think that would be his best option. He wouldn't have to move. He just has, drive to a different location in New York. But I don't know what kind of money he's going to demand or what he's going to want salary-wise. I don't know how that works.
I think he'll come cheap. I think he'll come real cheap. I would say you get him for $1 million this year. I would think, unless he wants to hold out again, unless his ego's still that big. I mean, he missed all 2018, remember?
Yeah. I mean, Devonta Freeman didn't look that bad this weekend. He gets a little bit better every week. So I don't know what the value is as far as him versus Le'Veon Bell. But of course, I still think Le'Veon Bell's a talented running back. But then again, if he can't run the Giants line is not going to give him any more. It's not going to be like, oh, thank God he's over here now, If he wants to compete and try to get a championship and try to get in, make a name for himself, I think Arizona is the place he would want to go. For comfort reasons, maybe New York would be the best fit. But what do you, Biddlecombe, we're talking about where homeboy might land, Le'Veon Bell.
I've heard the Rams and I've heard the Bills are the front runners, but I mean, don't put it past Belichick to get him to come be a Patriot. I could see him going there. Arizona, I don't think he would go to Arizona just because, the coach there really likes Chase Edmonds. So if Drake doesn't pan out, he's already said Chase Edmonds could be an RB1 in the league. And I just don't see them spending the money on Bell after spending all the money on Hopkins.
So that's the thing. We were trying to figure out how much Bell's going to want this year.
He's probably going to want a good amount of money. I mean, the fact that he held out from Pittsburgh he's done this to himself, so he's going to be at a discount. I wouldn't mind if the Bills made a play for him. I think he would add a lot. I still think he's a good back. I think, have you ever seen a running back as patient as him? Seems like he just stops and counts to 10.
He needs an offensive line, though. He needs an offensive line.
Bills have a decent offensive line. The Rams have a decent offensive line. Probably doesn't want to go to, Detroit just because they don't have a great offensive line, but they definitely could use him. Chicago would be a decent spot.
Chicago might not be that bad.
I don't think Indianapolis would take him just because Jonathan Taylor's kind of emerged, but maybe Indianapolis takes a chance on him. They need to get rid of Rivers, though. They should have – I don't know why they didn't sign Cam Newton. I mean, that's in hindsight. Cam Newton in Indy would be undefeated, and they'd be like a Super Bowl contender.
Indy's defense is no joke.
Oh, they're great. But Phillip Rivers is preventing them from winning football games. Maybe – though they add Bell, and that adds a little ripple because Rivers, all he likes to do is dump stuff off, and Bell's a better pass-catching back than anybody they have right now. So I would say if it isn't the Rams and it isn't the Bills, which I've been reading are the favorites, maybe Chicago and Indy.
But not New York Giants.
You don't need them.
I mean,
if this was 2 weeks ago, this is all timing. If it was 2 weeks ago, you would have Le'Veon Bell on your team, but you just signed Freeman to $4 million. So unless your owner is willing to eat that money, I mean, he's going to go somewhere else.
Gettleman needs to win, though. Gettleman needs to win to keep his job.
Something, dude. He needs something positive. Something momentum changing, look, this team, I watched the game this week. Obviously they didn't, I didn't think they were going to beat the Cowboys, but the fact they stayed in the game, were competitive and had a chance to tie it or, get close at the end. It was good, but there are no steps where I'm seeing I think Evan Ingram this week took us, the role of I'm the best playmaker on this team. Get me the ball in any situation. Hand it off to me. Dump it off in the slot. Throw it deep. Let me go get it. Whatever it is, just get me the fucking ball. And I'm fine with that, especially because everybody else is hurt. So that's a bright side thing. Joe Judge seems to be coaching these guys up. They had a touchdown in the fucking books if their offensive lineman just got his ass down when everybody else did. Just literally sat down when everyone else did. They had a trick play for it was a field goal or a punt, and they got a touchdown out of it right to Evan Ingram. He did the slide thing where everyone thought he was coming off the field. He just stayed right there on the sideline, came back in, and then they threw it to him right in the flat, and he ran it in, and fucking number 75 didn't get his ass down. So, look, That's coaching. That they'll work on that. And I like the fact that Joe Judge takes shots, and especially special teams, because that's where he comes from. But everything else, as far as what Gettleman put these pieces together, and if they don't do anything, and then his job for sure is on the line. They do need to win, but I don't know if Le'Veon Bell is the answer because you still got the same guys blocking for him.
Exactly.
Devonta Freeman looked better this week.
He's getting back into football shape, so he did look explosive.
But the one thing I took away from this weekend, and it came from a very unfortunate incident coming from the Giant game, the Dak Prescott ankle thing was one of the grossest, most terrible things I've seen. I watched it live. It was gnarly. I don't like that stuff. I'm not into like that faces of death shit. Joe Theismann watched, Gordon Hayward's little ankle snaps off, Sean Livingston. I don't watch any of those. And this one, only reason I saw it is because I was watching the game live. And when I saw it, I was like, I couldn't even believe it. And then when they showed the replay later on, now they pixelate the replay, thank God. But I took away from that, obviously, I felt terrible for Dak. Even as a Giants fan, I was emotional when it happened because I see how emotional he was. And, you don't want to see someone get hurt, especially someone who kind of bet on himself to have a big contract down the line. So I felt bad for him. But then I saw Big Red come out, and I think for some reason, what I took away from it is I think they're going to go 9-2 with him as quarterback down the stretch.
They just need to shore up on defense. They don't have look, the Red Rocket is not Dak Prescott, but he's not that bad of a downgrade. He had moments in Cincinnati where he looked really good. And from a fantasy perspective, he was a guy that I would pick up a lot of times off the waiver wire, and he'd have 6 or 7 weeks where he was top 3 fantasy, as far as stats, because he's just slinging the ball. And now he has the best offense he's ever gotten to work with. It's just a matter of, can Dallas's defense do just enough that if they score 35 points, they don't have to score 36? You know what I mean?
CeeDee Lamb's a stud, dude.
Sucks.
He has people to
their
throw
offense
the ball
is
to.
Good.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Tyron Smith getting hurt, their offensive line is pretty banged up, but it's still better than what he's used to. And so if they can protect him and he doesn't have to scramble and he can just sit back there and sling it. Look, the division is a fucking garbage dump. So, 9 wins probably wins that division by 3 games. I think the next best team probably has 6 wins in the division. So if you can get to 9 wins in that division, forget it. You are the champion by far. So I think with him behind center, that's the team now to beat. Carson Wentz still, they looked better, but the Eagles are, I don't know, if you're an Eagles fan, you probably, I can't even imagine what Philly sports talk radio must be going through. How much they must just be shitting on what the product they're throwing out there every week.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how poor a team can look in such a short period of time. A team that's been together, they're not even new pieces. Same coach, same quarterback. It's amazing to me. It's nuts how bad they look. Any one of these teams should be able to walk away with this division. No, the Giants, if they fucking put that drive together and they won this game, they would be tied for first place in the division. Arguably one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL. They can't stop a run. They can't stop. They have no defense. A little bit they show against the Rams, but that's it. And at the rest of it's a fucking, it's terrible. So I don't know. I think the Cowboys are the team to beat now. Are you that's what I took away from it. That, and then Tuesday Night Football, that the Bills, either COVID's good for your body and it actually enhances your performance on the football field. Because the Bills got, they didn't even look that, they didn't, it wasn't even a competitive game really that much last night.
No. And props to the Titans. They played really well. I was telling Lucas before we were on, the Titans for the first time since 2007, when the Patriots did it in week 11, they were perfect in the red zone. They went 6 for 6 with 6 touchdowns. So they played an absolutely perfect game. I think the Bills' injuries hurt them, but they just played with no energy. And the fact that the Bills had to game plan for, the Titans and the Chiefs, because they didn't know who they were going to play until Sunday. They were guessing maybe they'd play the Titans, but it seemed like it was going to be canceled. It seemed like even up until Monday morning it was going to be canceled. So they were game planning to play the Chiefs on Thursday. I think that kind of threw them. And then the Titans, they had 15 days of preparing just for the Bills. I think it helped them. It annoyed me that the announcers kept going on and on about, these guys didn't practice. Well, they did illegally.
I know.
They did practice.
They kept saying, they were like,
they kept saying that.
3 practices in 15
no,
days.
They did
that
practice.
We know about.
They did practice.
What about all the high school fucking and the walkthroughs at the gyms and all this shit that they did while they were passing around the virus to one another? Look, I'm not saying the Titans
played a great game. The Titans deserved to win that game. But to say that they were like, it was heroic and they didn't even practice, that's all a bunch of bullshit. They got to prepare just for the Bills. They got an extra week. And
if you're Josh Norman, can you talk shit anymore?
No.
That guy could be one of the biggest trash-talking fucking dudes. I mean, he was embarrassing. Manhandled. Now, he was a little off balance to begin with, but look, it was his own fault. He was coming to try to tackle the biggest dude, biggest running back in the league. I don't know why he was trying to do it like trying to fly at him, but I mean, he threw him to the ground like a baby, like a rag doll. Like, like when you see those highlight videos on, like for Pee Wee football leagues, when one kid's just 5'10" at 6 years old and he just starts powering. That's what it looked like.
Yeah,
it was pretty fucking awesome. But that's literally like the best highlight of the. I mean, Allen did not look great. Allen came back to earth big time.
Yeah, he was off on every throw, even the ones he completed. It was just everything was behind or everything was a little low. The only bright spot that I saw, there was a 3rd and 7 that he converted, which, by the way, they were like great on 3rd down. They were like 13 of 20 or something from 3rd downs, and they're still one of the top teams in the league. But the big takeaway that I took was, even though Allen didn't play well, mentally he seemed out of it. They just didn't have the energy. There was a 3rd and 7 that he converted by looking like he was going to leave the pocket and run, and he sucked the linebacker in, and then he threw it probably to Beasley or Davis or somebody in the middle. So instead of trying to run over a guy, he made the decision, to throw it and use his arm instead of putting his body in harm's way. So that was good. He's definitely a better player.
He did throw it at Stephon Diggs one too many times for my liking, because it knocked me out of my undefeated record for our What's the Odds Fantasy Football podcast. Congratulations to whoever that fucking person that beat me. Grenacia, I don't know who it was. I don't remember the team. I don't even look at my opponent's name. That's how much disrespect I hold for everybody else in this league. I don't even look at my opponent's name. And by the way, I saw another fucking trade offer from you.
That was a fair trade. Trade offer.
What did I tell you? I'm trying
to make your team better.
Norman you next time you.
I am trying to make your team better.
I don't want your bullshit. Leave me alone with it. I'm 4-1. I lost by probably 4 points this week. That's it.
How are you doing in the punch drunk league?
It's never going to happen again. I won this week, but let me tell you something. I don't know how you're going to – I had Ryan Burkhead playing, or
Rex Burkhead.
Rex Burkhead. That's how bad my team is. I got Rex Burkhead starting at running back. And how do I get – they cancel games. I mean, you can't substitute out. What do you do?
It's all good, though, Steve. I'm 5-0 in that league. We're going to be okay. We're going to win the bet against the punch drunk guys, thanks to my undefeated season.
Now.
Yeah, you were not good.
No, I'm 2-3 now, I think.
And I'm trying to make your team better, and you're over there going, I'm gonna blah, 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 blah. I'm just trying to help you. Help me. We're supposed to work together on this.
Is that the league where he took the kicker in the 10th round?
That is the league where he took the kicker in the 10th round.
And now I got Rex Burkhead running as my running back. Dude, it was way too early in the season. I was actually not even committed to doing fantasy football at that point, and they asked me to be in the league. I just fucking drafted real quick. Yeah. You could tell as I got better, the Comedy Store League I'm in, I'm doing really well. Well, I'm 2-3 in that. I'm second to last place, but I got a good team and I'm moving my way up. And then our league is, I'm undeniably the best player in the league. So
yeah, you're doing well in that league, but there's a lot of time left. I would say right now on Punch Drunk, if I were you, I would go pick up Boone will get some work this week because Dalvin Cook's not going to play, or Philip Lindsay's going to be back and he's on the waiver wire. And maybe they do suspend Gordon. I don't think they're going to suspend him until next season, but maybe they do suspend him for the DUI earlier and he becomes the RB1 there. Or, desperation, you could take Perrine for the Jets because now it's going to be him and Gore.
I'm not taking a single fucking Jet, dude. I'm not taking any
I'm
Jets.
just looking for volume for you. Or Gus Edwards. He's been getting some work for the Ravens. So that's always like a three-headed monster, and maybe you get the week that it's Gus Edwards. But those three guys definitely go get.
But
Boone.
how do you know? Like, what they got to figure out a better system on how to You should be allowed if you have a player on a team in your starting lineup that like the night before gets their game canceled, you should be able to pick up anyone you want right then.
I've heard a lot of.
There should be no waiver wire waiting period to go through because you got fucked.
I've heard a lot of different scenarios, Steve. I think the best one that I've heard is, and I mean, this is kind of just on the commissioners, and I could do this for what's the odds, but as far as the other leagues you're in, you just have to talk to the commissioner. What you do is you say, this is the guy that I'm starting. I'm starting Rex Burkhead, but I have this guy on my bench, and if Rex Burkhead or whoever the player is doesn't play, you tell the commissioner the day before the game, this is the guy that I want the points from on my bench, and you just retroactively add those points onto my score at the end of the week.
Why is it left up to the commissioner? I played a fucking fantasy football commissioner for 7 years on television, and why – they're the only one who has a job. Why are they adding more work to the job of the person who doesn't want to do the fucking job to begin with? Nobody wants to be like getting bombarded at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, Cam Newton just tested positive, Frank. So can you stop fucking your wife for a minute and pay attention so that you could put in Andy Dalton instead of fucking, what are you kidding me?
I mean, what's the solution then? What is the solution?
It's Yahoo or ESPN just to be able to have full fluidity, like Lena Dunham's sexuality, full fluidity everywhere, anything, anyone can do it anytime. Love is love. If I want to move,
you gotta make the moves a week or two in advance. You gotta think ahead.
It's a very strange season, Brenton, with a lot of different twists and turns, and we can't be tied down to the stringent rules of old school fantasy football. We've got to be able to move players whenever the fuck we want. We have to have that level of mobility because you don't know when. Look, what if on the way into the stadium, Tom Brady gets tested positive, even if it's a false positive, and he can't play?
Well, I would say if you have Tom Brady as your starting quarterback, you're not winning that week anyway.
You motherfucker, Brenton. Don't judge other people's lineups.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win with Tom Brady.
What if they took all these
I cannot fucking wait
receivers?
to watch Aaron Rodgers and the Packers just demolish the Buccaneers this week. And not to get ahead, but that's 100%. That's my lock. It's only a -2 to the Packers. Are you kidding me? The Bucs are fucked.
Don't bring up locks. We were so fucking close last week. We nailed the money line. We should have. The only thing we fucked up is we should have taken the money line on Seattle and Arizona with the points. We took the wrong NFC West team. We flip-flopped that, and then we are a heart attack away on Monday night from, could you imagine if that really counted? Now, by the way, thank you to our Patreon members, Cena and who was the other? Austin? Was it Austin? Who was our other Patreon member that joined us this weekend for Monday Night Football? Do you guys remember?
Well, this is embarrassing.
I know. Fucking
Minnesota, man. Minnesota.
We got to trim this out, Emma.
No.
I don't edit.
We were live, dude. Fuck it. We do this live.
By the way, there are 2 games on Monday. Do you want to put me and Lucas through the 2 o'clock Bills-Chiefs game? Or would you prefer to do Arizona-Dallas? I mean, either way, you're getting me in a bad mood. I I'm either going to be pissed off from what I just saw, or I'm going to be pissed off while it's happening. And I'm on steroids.
At the time, yeah.
Steve, I'm on steroids.
How long does the steroids last?
I'm on them for a week.
Is it a needle or do you have pills?
No, I have pills. They're very specific. You got to take it at a very specific time of the day, multiple times a day.
What are the side effects, did they say?
Side effects are, next time you see me, I'm going to be bigger than you.
Oh, really? You think so?
I'll probably still have spots, but I'm going to be bigger.
I love how they just give you steroids and don't even figure out like what you did to get that. Like what's going to happen next week?
He did no blood work. He just looked at me and was like, I'm going to give you some steroids. That'll probably clear it up.
Did you do a COVID test?
No. They took my temperature and my temperature's normal and I feel fine. So I don't know. It could be COVID. We looked it up and we read that there were some. And the other thing that was crazy was he's like, yeah, you're like the 10th person in a few weeks that's come in with these spots. It's like, well, maybe it is COVID. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We're all going to get it. I was in Miami this weekend. Shout out to everyone that came to the Miami Improv this past weekend. Thank you very much. Very safe, socially distant shows indoors. But flying there, I'm like, this is it. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't know.
Well, do it next week so my parents don't have to see someone else.
Tomorrow I'll be in Cleveland. I'll be flying to Cleveland tomorrow. I'm very happy about that. But it's just they're already putting people in the middle seats. And they make the rule. They tell you. They say, look, when we land, as they're taxing, the bell's going to go off. We let the front row out first. Then the second row stands up. Then the third row stands up. Then the fourth row stands up. Got it? We pull in. Bing. Everybody on the plane stands up at once. People in the back, people next to me, people in front. I go, it's over. Nobody listens. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody. No one. Everybody's just, they want it back to the way it was before, and they're just going to keep passing this fucking thing around. So you probably have it, Brenton. You probably have some sort of new fucking version of it that we're all,
I got COVID-20.
Get a new vaccine. Yeah. You got shit Remdesivir doesn't even cure. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of quack doctor you went to, but you might want to go get a COVID actual up-the-nose test. Are you going to do that?
We're probably going to, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if you got, I mean, I'm not saying if you get COVID, it's great, but you really have been like one of the most cautious people I know in this whole thing. Like, I don't know if you've ever left that house. If you tied me down, I wouldn't know for sure. If you've, it seems like you've never left there.
I have not really gone anywhere except a couple of trips to get Rogue her specific food. But I mean, that's been in a big building with only one other person. I went to the funeral, but that was outside. We were all spaced out. So yeah, I really haven't done anything around anyone. It could be, I'm pumping gas and I touched the wrong pump. But even after that, putting on hand sanitizer, washing my hands, changing out my mask, changing my clothes.
I don't know how you would possibly get it, but I hope you don't have it, but if you did, it would be hilarious.
Well, if I do, the good thing is it doesn't seem like I have the kind that's going to affect me physically.
You have the kind of child.
I feel good. I have the super spreader kind. Come give me a hug.
By the way, speaking of super spreader, my mind went to the White House. I got a lot of those bets right on that thing last week, right?
You did, yeah.
I nailed a lot of those just with instinct, ladies and gentlemen. It just goes to show, if you trust me, if you believe in me, I will not lead you astray. I will take you to the promised land. I have useless gut feelings about things nobody cares about. And that's what will help you. I mean, I know I got the red tie right. As soon as I flipped it on, I was like, bam, nailed it. Could have told you that. What are the other ones?
She didn't call herself Mamala.
Yeah,
really disappointed.
She did the third person. She did call herself Kamala, which I was surprised by itself.
Okay. Nobody knew the fly was going to happen. That's all that people, the fly thing. I thought it was dead.
No, it got stuck in like the stuff he puts in his hair.
Yeah, but I thought it was eating that stuff. Flies eat anything. So if you find like a piece of food, so I thought maybe the fly ate some of that poison shit. that baby blood that he puts in his hair, and then the fly just died. And I was like, oh, they're going to have to – it's going to be there the whole time. But, yeah, I was like I didn't really watch it that closely because the Yankees were losing. And that was my main focus. Look, I'm not happy about the way the game too, but it was a great series. The Rays are fucking good, dude. The Rays have a bunch of dudes in their bullpen that they can send out there that they all believe in, they all trust in. Kevin Cash has got a lot of options, so they're smoking through the fucking Astros.
Thank God.
Altuve has the yips, it looks like.
Yeah, Altuve's got Chuck Knobloch syndrome where he can't seem to fucking throw the ball. Costly errors, man. I mean, the one in the first game or the second game cost him 3 runs. He doesn't make that out at first base. With 2 outs, the next guy comes up and hits a 3-run home run. It's like they go right to him. And it's look, does he have the yips? I don't know. Do I care? I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see the Astros make it to the World Series. I'm glad the fucking Tampa Bay Rays are running through them. I don't want to see the Tampa Bay Rays either. I want to see the fucking Yankees win it. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Dodgers play a little bit better than they're playing against Atlanta. Atlanta looks like they haven't lost a playoff game yet. They're 7-0. They've given up 6 runs. 6 runs in the playoffs so far. I mean, they had a blowout inning last night where in the 9th inning, besides that inning, I mean, their starting pitchers give up fucking 6 runs. It's incredible. So it looks like it's going to be the Braves and the Rays. So would that be fun to watch and interesting? And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think this is the Rays' year. I really do. I don't see anyone stopping them. I think they have timely hitting, a real hot hitter in that fucking Cuban kid, Granderena, whatever the hell his name is. And, yeah, they got a great fucking bullpen. And Tyler Glasnow's going tonight, and I think he's their best pitcher. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I was disappointed, very disappointed. You send Garrett Cole out there for Game 5, and you just assume that's going to be a win, and he pitched his ass off, and he gave him what he had. And they all did. Chapman's Chapman. He gave up a home run when he's not supposed to. You're going to die by that. Unfortunately, it's been 2 years in a row for us. So they'll figure it out. They're losing a lot of pitchers. They're losing J.A. Happ. They're losing Paxton. They're probably going to lose Tanaka. But, there's guys like Trevor Bauer out there this year, so they can shore up the pitching staff. They got some young guys coming back, Domingo Germán off of domestic abuse, Luis Severino off of Tommy John surgery. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, we got to shore up the catcher position, too. I think the Yankees should go after Romaldo, how you say his name, the Phillies catcher. And bye-bye, Gary Sanchez. Hasta luego. Is that how you say it? I'm not – I took 4 years of Spanish.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Hasta mañana, but not tomorrow. I will not see you tomorrow. No hasta mañana. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I just don't want Gary Sanchez on our team anymore. How about that? Tommy Pham, speaking of baseball, did you hear about this guy last night?
Mm-mm.
Tommy Pham's former Ray, now San Diego Padre, was out on Sunday night at a strip club in San Diego and got into a fight and got stabbed. And they have the footage on TMZ, and his fucking back is all bloodied up through his white T-shirt. I watched this video, and the only thing I could think of is, what strip club is open in San Diego? I didn't think any
comedy clubs are closed.
Comedy clubs are closed. How are they letting strippers and get lap dances at strip clubs when I can't tell fucking jokes inside? And on top of that, I was in San Diego last Monday with my 8-year-old, and we had a couple hours to kill. It would have been nice to know some of these establishments were open so we could have gone inside and used the restroom. You know what I'm saying?
Teach him young.
Look at his back. You see it? All bloodied up.
Yeah.
It matches his pants, though.
He wore sweatpants, dude. And you know why you wear sweatpants to a strip club, right, Lucas? You know why.
Oh, I know why.
Easy access to those boners, dude. Easy access to the boners. So we had the full strip club attire on, the uniform, Sunday night in there. But, I'm like, man, where are these fucking strip clubs in San Diego that are open? And I can't tell jokes. It doesn't make sense. Oh. Well, let's get to some picks, shall we? Oh, by the way, did you guys watch Bill Burr? Hold on. Did you watch Bill Burr on Saturday Night Live?
I'm ashamed to say that it's still in our DVR, but I am going to watch it.
I watched the opening monologue, but I haven't watched the rest of it.
Yeah, well, that's the shit he's getting the most blowback from. But it's like, give me a break.
I loved it.
Of course.
Anyone who has a sense of humor loved it.
Of course. And you know what? You asked Bill Burr to host Saturday Night Live. He's not going to pander. He's not going to try to dumb down his shit. He's going to do what he does. And he does it well. And that's why you have him there. And, who wants to perform in front of a fucking PC, New York crowd anyway? The uptight people that don't want to laugh. But you could tell he just went right through it. He didn't give a fuck about them. He was performing to the people at home he knew were laughing. So I'm fucking proud to be a comedian. I'm proud that he did it. I'm happy for him. The sketches were funny. They were edgy too. The fucking sketch with the sports report, he played the sports reporter, trying to just kind of stick to the sports stuff while there was some sort of racial unrest the night before, and he just, I guess he either doesn't know about it or just kind of, he's like, oh yeah, and just kind of plows through it. That was hilarious. That was fucking awesome. I mean, that's so topical. It's really fucking what people go through now, and it's hilarious. So I was, it's awesome to see your friends do shit like that, right? I mean, isn't it incredible? Like, yeah, there was a sketch with him and Punky, and I was like, this is nuts. I know both those guys. It's nuts. I still feel like that. 20 years later, being around this shit, like when I see my friends on television, I still feel like I know those people. It's crazy. But congratulations to Mr. Bill Burr. But yeah, let's do some fucking picks. Or did you have you want to do something else first? Did I interrupt you, Lucas?
No. Yeah.
I got all the games pulled up. There's some good stuff here. I'm not opposed to doing more than 3 again, but maybe we stick to the money line on a few of them.
I went through them, and I kind of went, if I had gun to my head, if I had to pick a winner of each game, I just did that in my head. So, and some of them I was like less confident about, but yeah, if we want to stick to money line when we're hedging our bets, I say we go for that.
I'm 100% taking the -2 Green Bay over Tampa Bay. I don't care what either one of you say. There is no way Tom Brady is keeping pace with Aaron Rodgers right now, and Davante Adams will be back.
Okay, I'm for it.
And you want
I get your logic.
You want to give 2.5 points?
It's -2 to Green Bay. I'm giving 2 points, not 2.5. So
giving 2, okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm always fine with -2.
And they're on the road.
That's barely
They're on the road, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. There's a lot of Packer fans in Tampa. They'll show up.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the 2 points. I just feel like if it's close, all right. Yeah, I do think Green Bay is going to win. Yeah. All right. But we have it here.
That's on me. That's on me.
It is on you. I would feel better with the money line, but you want? Go ahead.
It's -110 if we take the spread. It's -130 if we take the money line. So we're not losing that much if you want to shift. But again,
let's see where it ends up.
I don't think the Buccaneers offense can keep pace with the Packers offense, especially with Davante Adams back. And I don't know if Godwin's going to play. He's still questionable. Scotty Miller's probably not going to play. Evans is still banged up. Fournette's still banged up.
Yeah. All right. Well, you sold me. I mean, I agree enough
Tom
to
Brady
say we can do it.
Old as fuck.
Just hope that the Green Bay defense shows up too.
Defense usually travels on the road.
I mean, Brady, I think he will show up though after that 4th down debacle that happened in the last game. So I think he will play well, but I do think Green Bay wins. All right, I'm looking between two games. I want your opinion. They're both 8-point favorites. Baltimore, I think, will cover against Philly. They're on the road. And then the other one is Miami. I think they still cover against the Jets, even though they're 8-point favorites.
So
I couldn't believe it. DraftKings has them at 9, but
I unfortunately have them on my bookie at -10, and that line's probably going to move. That line's probably going to move to 12, especially now that Bell's gone and Joe Flacco's the starter. So 10 is a lot. So maybe.
Do we just take that game straight up? It probably won't add a whole lot.
If we take it straight up, it's -420. The over-under is 47. So they don't see the Dolphins running up the score. Seems like it's just going to be they maybe get out ahead 10 points and then kind of coast and just run the ball. So I don't know if that was going to be my pick. It was -8 2 days ago. We did this podcast on Monday. Today.
I'm reading right now. The Ravens are 4-1 this year against the spread, and Philly is 1-3-1 against the spread.
Yeah, I like that pick better, and it's +100 if we take the -8.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say the Bengals Colts was your another 8-point game.
I'd say honestly,
I think the Bengals could cover. Colts have a good defense, but the Colts don't have a good offense. And that's another low-scoring game. It's 46.5.
Colts at home.
Bengals could cover that +8. And the Bengals could honestly upset the Colts in that game.
Yeah, the Bengals look terrible on Sunday, but you got to think after looking that bad, they're going to have a bounce back.
Yeah.
Are you guys want to even fuck with Cleveland and Pittsburgh? Because I have a feeling on that. I think Pittsburgh covers.
Yeah,
really?
Pittsburgh covers, absolutely. The stat I read last week was even though Cleveland beat Indy was still outgaining them per play. It was like 5 3/4 yards versus like 5 1/3. So Cleveland's still not that great on offense. Their defense is so.
But if you wanted to do money line and just
Pittsburgh's a machine. Pittsburgh is a machine. We could take
especially
the Pittsburgh money line -190. If we take the spread, I got it 3.5 at -110.
What were you going to say, Lucas? What do you don't like the money line?
The 3.5 does kind of get to me. That half a point.
I mean, these games are always close. They're always grudge matches. They're always, they don't like each other. There's obvious with the Myles Garrett shit, but it's like, I don't think any of the Myles Garrett stuff comes into play at all this week. No. I think they're just going to play a football game. But 3.5, yeah. I mean, let's do Pittsburgh and the money line. Just play it safe. Pittsburgh to win at home.
And then I like the Rams against the 49ers. They're -3.5. I think they win that game. They're playing well enough.
Yes.
Defense is playing well enough. 49ers.
The 49ers can't be the team that doesn't play in the Meadowlands, so it doesn't matter. Any team that doesn't play in the Meadowlands, they get fucking smoked.
So we could add
Jimmy Garoppolo either is still hurt or he is not playing well at all right now, and they benched him. And I know they said it was his foot.
They said it was because of his foot. They said his ankle was still hurt.
I saw those throws, dude. They didn't look very good. So
honestly, if we were making these picks on Friday, I'd feel more comfortable. If Jimmy G plays, then I think the 49ers could cover that spread. But if he isn't playing, then absolutely the Rams beat them by 10 points.
Yeah, but I thought the same thing about the fucking Giants too.
So maybe the Giants played them well. Maybe we just don't touch that one. How about this one though? What about the Cowboys straight up beating the Cardinals, who have not looked great? I know they've
that.
I know they have a winning record. The points. They looked good the first 2 weeks. They looked really bad the next 2, and they played pretty mediocre last week. If we take the money line on the Cowboys, it's +115. If we take the spread, they're getting 2.5 points at -110.
I'm always okay with the 2.5 spread. That's a field goal wins that for us. And also, Andy Dalton is a perfect quarterback for Dallas because he is known for having a good regular season record and then just not showing up in the playoffs, just like the Cowboys. I mean, he's really made for that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think exactly what y'all said.
I hate betting with the Cowboys or for the Cowboys. It sends a fucking chill down my spine. But in this instance, I do feel like coming off of Dak's injury, they're going to band together. They're going to have Andy Dalton will have a week of practice with the first squad. And I think they'll go out like motivated to try to, win some games for him. And I don't know what Arizona team shows up sometimes. It's like sometimes they're running guns. Sometimes it doesn't look like they can move the ball. So
Dallas is going to play with a lot of emotion. They're going to play for Dak. They're going to be a tighter squad than any team arguably playing this week. That gives us 5 picks right now. So we have the Steelers money line. We have the Ravens -8. We have the Dolphins money line. We have the Packers -2 and the Cowboys +2.5. Are there any other games that you guys really like?
I like we're
taking the Bengals +8, right? That would give us 6.
Giants are getting 2.5 against Washington, and they don't even know who their quarterback is.
I mean, Haskins hasn't practiced all week, and they say it's an illness, but not COVID related.
Haskins, the third stringer. I've heard that they hate his attitude, they hate him, and they regret everything they ever did to get him. So I doubt you would have to see Alex Smith snap his other leg, and Kyle Allen would have to probably get into a wreck on the way to the stadium before you see Haskins playing football again for the football team.
I mean, can the Giants that at home? That's the only reason I see them getting 2.5 points. But I think they're going to win. Is that bad? Is that me?
I don't think it's bad. And Antonio Gibson is he popped up on the injury report. So the Washington football team's #1 running back is also questionable.
Yeah, I'm like I feel like at home against a team that doesn't know who their quarterback is. We've been in these games. We've been competitive. We've been down to like a possession on each one of these things, and so last couple of weeks, it's like we've been close. We've been competitive. And hopefully that's not like us trying to come back from a touchdown this week, but I think we can – I think we're going to win the fucking game. God, how could we not beat fucking Washington? How could we not beat Washington at home? Alex Smith, by the way, I mean, we texted during that game. I couldn't believe that he got in. Like right after we talked about it, he's in. And it's pouring. The ground is wet. We just watched Dak Prescott get his fucking leg snapped off. And I'm going – I'm watching it like I can't believe this is happening again. Like I almost didn't want it to go on. I wanted him to come in. I wanted him to have a drive. I wanted him to throw a touchdown pass, and then I wanted the quarterback to feel better and come back in and take over. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted one more drive to see him succeed, and that's it. Like I don't want to see him behind center all the time because I don't know. Like I feel like it's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen again, but. It was great to see him out there. It was great to see his wife and his kids out there. I mean, like, think about what they've been through. Yeah. They probably aren't psyched about it either or have some sort of, real cautious feelings. But damn, dude. The balls, bro, to get back out there. Against Aaron Donald, nonetheless. One of the fucking, one of the most ruthless D linemen in the league. He wouldn't give a fuck. He's just going to try to kill you.
I mean, Donald Trump jumped on his back when he sacked him. He jumped on his back. So that leg was holding up, 310 pounds.
Dude, did you say Donald Trump jumped on his back?
No, Aaron Donald jumped on his back. When he sat like that's –
I mean, that's still 310 pounds on his back.
Yeah, even more probably. I'm not obese. They keep saying Pulse Reports obese. No, I would felt terrible for I was watching Dak get fucking carted off, and then you're watching Alex Smith play. I'm like, man, how crazy is this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they say he's going to be fine, though, in 6 months, Dak Prescott. I mean, I don't know. Look, 6 months seems like a real short amount of time, but, I hope he is. I hope I truly hope he is. I really do, because nobody deserves that.
They're saying he's still expecting a big contract and all that. And I'm the same. It's just like seeing how that leg broke. I would not give him a sentence until I had, 5 doctors look at him.
Well,
think about it. Yeah.
The Giants player that tackled him, he actually, I think he broke his pelvis a couple of seasons ago. And he went through a similar situation, had to do the surgery and everything in the recovery. And he said he came back stronger. So he feels like, it's not an Alex Smith situation. Dak could probably recover and come back even stronger on that foot. So, yeah, he'll just need to get examined. And he's still worth the money. I don't know if he's worth $500 million, but he's still worth, a bigger contract than $39 million guaranteed.
Well, I think the worst case, well, not the worst case, but what will probably happen, the likely situation is he probably gets franchised again next year for probably $37 million. And they see how they have him play out a season and see how the ankle holds up. And then, you go from there. How much is he worth?
Yeah. I mean, it really will come down to how well does Dalton play, and do they decide they actually need him?
If Andy Dalton goes 9-2 for, a third of the money, how are you going to pay a guy who just had his ankle snapped off $37 million? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a business. It is a business, but Jerry Jones,
he'll go
Jones
somewhere.
have already said,
if he doesn't re-up with the Cowboys, someone will give him a lot of money somewhere. Just probably not as much as he would have gotten if he had stayed healthy. But he'll be fine. God. I believe in him. He'll be fine.
Well, what do you think about the Giants? Do you want to?
No, I'm taking the Giants. I already put them in.
I would take them.
Give me the Giants. Right. I was on them a few weeks ago. I really thought they were going to win a couple of times. So I've been on.
They looked competitive against the Rams.
Yeah, I think their defense is underrated
against the Cowboys.
Freeman's getting better. He's getting acclimated in the offense. And, like you said, Ingram stepped up. But I think Darius Slayton, if Jones can just get a little bit more time, Slayton is a beast.
My only concern, Evan Ingram to me is like the guy I think I want him to have the ball every time. My only concern is with a team like this, they play down to their competition or up to their competition. And so if they play down to the fucking Redskins, we're fucked.
Washington football team, Steve.
God damn it. God damn it. By the way, I had to explain that to Jonah this weekend. He goes, who are the Giants playing next week? I said, Washington. Who are they? I go, the Washington Football Club. He goes, what do you mean? I never heard of them before. I go, well, it used to be a different name. He goes, what were they? I'm like, the Redskins. And he's like, why are they called the Redskins anymore? I'm like, oh, God.
Just call them the Redskin potatoes.
Right. Yeah.
I was watching, NFL Primetime, and Chris Berman this week called them the Redskins. And you could tell right away. Yeah. And he knew, he made a mistake, but also, you're too old to cancel him. Or he's too old to be canceled, so he was just kind of – but, he for a second, he was like, oh.
You cannot cancel someone for mistakenly calling the team that was called that name for 50 fucking years, 4 months after they change it, okay? That's like tomorrow being like,
calling the Chargers San Diego.
Yeah. It's left on red, and no, you can't – and you can do whatever you like. If they switch the sides of the roads, people are going to start crashing into each other left and right. And you can't be like, all these bad drivers out there, we got to get rid of them. It's like, hello, what the fuck, man? What I'm saying is, if he was like, hey, I'm adamant and fuck what they call themselves, I'm calling them the Redskins, that's a different story. You take his job away then. But if you just, you slip up by saying the team's name, give me a break. Fuck that. Oh, my God.
I mean, this is when the Browns came back in '99, if you remember, they didn't bring back their old history with them. The Ravens took that when they were the Browns, they moved to Baltimore. So when the Browns came back as an expansion franchise, They started clean.
Yeah, what are the Browns, by the way? What is that?
Paul Brown.
Is that Brown people?
They're named after the stadium or the owner.
It's not named after just like minorities?
No, Steve.
Are you sure?
Pretty
Yes.
sure.
You sure?
Yes.
I mean, that's why I call
you want to
Browns,
cancel Chris Berman just because he was wearing a headdress and called the.
I want to cancel Chris Berman just because he's looking more and more like Fat Daddy Leprechaun.
Oh, really?
I had not watched the halftime show in so long.
He's on prime
He's doing
time
the fastest 2 minutes.
And when does that come on?
It's ESPN Plus on Sunday nights.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh my God!
So if you want to see
Booger,
him
and Booger on ESPN Plus, you got to have an app downloaded to find this guy. This guy probably has no idea. The only apps he has are food service delivery apps, alcohol delivery, and probably a couple online prostitution underground apps. And now he is located on an app. A man that created like hours and hours of television programming before. Just dudes sitting around talking about the football games they were about to watch and or just watched.
Yeah, dude was at ESPN since day one. He's been an ESPN anchor since they started.
Damn. Well, who else all right, so that's 6 games, right? That's enough. Let's not bite off more than we can chew.
I've got 7. What is it? I have 7 games if you want me to remove one.
Well, no. What is that? Do you have a thing that tells us what that pays out?
The odds just got updated on the Packers-Buccaneers game. You're going to like this. It's now a pick'em.
Get out of here.
It just updated. Just updated.
Money line is just straight up pick'em.
Now a pick'em.
Now, granted, I don't know. Is anyone? You guys are watching the news. No one's gotten hurt or anything in like the last hour that we've been doing this, right? It's not like fucking Aaron Rodgers. You know, they found he's a white supremacist or something like that.
I mean, they know Green Bay's undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't believe that'd be a pick on.
Dustin Johnson's got COVID.
I don't see anything.
The golfer?
Number 1 golfer in the world. Yep. Has to pull out of this weekend's event. Tony Finau, also top 10 player, has to pull out. And Ronaldo's got COVID. So I don't know if there was some sort of high-end Illuminati individual, like, you know, European sports meeting this weekend where they all like tongue kissed each other, but they all got COVID this week.
Well, there's a Trump rally going.
What?
There's a Trump rally going on in my hometown of Des Moines right now. It's
really?
At the airport, yeah, and they advise against, you know, gatherings of 25 or more people in Polk County right now, which is where Des Moines at. There's 10,000 people at this rally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right, Steve. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. Not at all. And
no injuries to report other than DJ Chark may not play. Didn't practice today, so he may not play. And again, if we were making these picks on Friday instead of today, if Chark doesn't play, then I absolutely love the Lions this week. But if he does play, probably wouldn't take him.
Let's leave it alone.
Yeah. So the
we've
7 games
got enough on our plate.
We have Baltimore Ravens -8, Pittsburgh's money line, Dolphins money line, Bengals +8 to cover, Giants -2.5, Cowboys +2.5, and Green Bay as a pick'em. And $50 will win us $2,357.31.
Guys, let's get that money. All right? We're talking about generational wealth here, everyone. You heard it here first. That's how it's going to go this weekend, or something very similar to that.
Locked in.
Locked and loaded, ladies and gentlemen. Locked and loaded. Damn, dude. I'm going to Cleveland this weekend. Please, if anyone is in the Cleveland area and you are not, or you are COVID-free, you are not symptomatic under any circumstances, you don't even have a fucking sniffle, please come down to Hilarities. Okay? It's one of the best clubs in the country. And I love it there, and the staff is great. And so, yes, and the Biddlecombs will be there. And it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. One show Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. Tickets are at hilarities.com, Pickwick and Frolic. You guys are just not, no gigs for you right now?
Just working out, Steve.
Just steroids and
doing 3-a-days. I'm taking advantage.
All right. What about you, Lucas? You got anything on the horizon coming up?
I got nothing. Did you guys watch? Did you watch the Comedy Store documentary? No, not yet. I watched a half of an episode. I got to watch more of it, but yeah, it looks pretty good.
Are you in it,
see
Lucas?
Some of the old guys.
Yeah, I'm not in it either. So I haven't watched.
Yeah, if I'm not.
I don't think I'm in it either. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's still,
Yeah, it's just.
It's good to see some of the old. Like I haven't seen Harris Pete's in it, and I'm like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh shit, dude. I spent many nights with Harris Pete. It's nice to see him, even if it was on film. All right, well, that's it, guys. Oh, here's the last question I have for you. What's the odds a game gets canceled this weekend, and or how many?
100%.
100% yes that a game gets canceled.
There were two other people. I don't remember who and what teams they were on, but there were two other from two separate teams that had tested positive over the weekend. So it probably will happen.
Yeah.
And the NFL is going to have to add an 18th week, and they're probably going to have to at some point figure out a bubble situation.
I love how Florida's coach Mullins wanted everyone. He wanted the place packed because he wanted a competitive advantage against LSU. And now 19 of his fucking players came down with COVID themselves, and they had to move the game anyway.
Yeah.
It's like you go from wanting 80,000 people to be there to literally having the game moved because your own team.
But I should say, I know you're not a big bragger, but congratulations. Since those 70,000 people couldn't go to the game, they were at your shows at the Miami Improv over the weekend.
That's right.
And you shattered the attendance record at the Miami Improv. So congratulations to you, Steve.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you all have
everyone
COVID.
was. By the way, I was up against. Let me tell you, Thursday night was the Florida Marlins game. They got boosted from the fucking playoffs. Friday was the Miami Heat Lakers Game 5 of the NBA Finals, nestled between my two shows, right in the middle. Started while I went on stage for the first show and ended when I went on right in the middle of my act during the second show. And then Saturday was the Miami Clemson game, right in between both shows. The University of Miami, 10 miles down the road.
So you were just battling cell phones the whole weekend.
Battling cell phones and sports bars and people screaming outside for no reason during setups to jokes. But yeah, no. Other than that, I had a great time. And Cleveland, I'm on my way. Who are the Browns playing this week? Oh, the Browns. Yeah,
Steelers.
The Browns and the fucking Steelers.
Steelers.
And I'm going to go there and I'm going to look those people in the eye and say, go Steelers, you fucking cunts. What are the Browns? What are they? I'm going to ask them point blank this weekend if this is if they have to have their name changed. Are you guys the Cleveland immigrants? What are you? I don't like it.
Do you have a Beckham Giants jersey?
No.
Okay.
I should. Yeah, I know. I should have got. Fuck. An Odell Beckham Giants jersey would be great just to rub it in their faces.
They're probably pretty inexpensive right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the podcast for this week. I'll be off to Cleveland. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks to our Patreon fans. We're going to do another football watching party on Zoom.
Should we announce it right now? Which game do you want to do, Steve?
What's up to you? You guys, 2 o'clock's a little – I have better Wi-Fi.
We've got – if we make it through Sunday, and it comes down to that Dallas game, then we'll have a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
Versus just watching me and Lucas have a meltdown like we did last year for the Texans.
Yeah,
so let's do the Dallas
terrible.
And the and then the later the Wi-Fi gets better too.
So if you're on Patreon, look for that link sometime Monday earlier in the day.
And if you're not on Patreon, join.
Yeah, join. And that game is at 5:15 Pacific time.
We had fun. We had a good time. Emma, we came up with a new Patreon level membership, but we'll let you know about that after. Yeah, it's called an all holes Patreon membership. I'll let you
all
your imagination.
Holes? Is that what you said? All holes?
It's a level. Yeah, all holes. Yeah.
I don't need to see that many holes, but I'm curious to find out.
We're not talking about donut holes here, which we have coming up. By the way, we're almost at our 100th episode. We're trying to figure out something to plan special for that. So stay tuned for that. Tell your friends about this podcast, especially if they're a sports fan or they like to bet on shit or talk shit to each other. We're on all the platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Patreon. And hopefully Brenton doesn't have COVID, but he probably does. So good luck with that this week.
He's got COVID.
That's the podcast. Thanks a lot for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week.